What's going on YouTube? JT Reborn here, and welcome back to another edition of my DC comic book reviews. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about the Batgirls 2022 annual. That's right. The Batgirls series now has its annual, and I'm going to be honest up front, this is the issue I've enjoyed the most so far in this entire run. I think too, because for one thing, the art style is very different than what they've been doing. It's less childish looking. It's not the Jorge Corona type style that you've typically seen in this type of series. The girls are drawn to look a lot older and more age appropriate, if that makes sense. They don't look like tween girls. They actually look more their age, which I appreciated that, even Babs and all that. It wasn't as childish. Lady Shiva makes an appearance. Stephanie's dad, who's thought long gone in that, makes an appearance here. I think this is, I honestly think they should probably go with this art style a little bit more. It's actually drawn pretty well, and there's some pretty good panels here. There's some, kind of moments where doesn't always work. Like, they have some bad puns in there and they try to acknowledge all that stuff. They also talk about the fact that this is the first Batgirls annual, or maybe even be the last. I don't know if Batgirls is going to last another year at this point, but maybe it will, maybe it won't. But I really like this, the art in this shot here. This is my favorite panel right here, the way they're kind of, all the different things kind of like linking around it, like a clock, like, if that makes sense. So like they got them center stage, and then here you got action here, action here. I think it's a good way to visually orchestrate the story. And other things going on, we get some development here. Babs is going to be moving back to the clock tower, which means that the three of them aren't going to be necessarily living together. Although Barbara's kind of been around quite a bit. Like, she's living there, she's living here. Then she's got her place with Dick in Bloodhaven. And if they're going to like expand on that relationship some more, I feel like she should probably like be living with him. But maybe when Dick's done with Bloodhaven, he's going to come back to Gotham and like make Gotham back his home again. They're all going to kind of be together and stuff. Who knows? But Kyle Mizoguchi makes an appearance. Him and Steph are developing their little relationship going on there, because she was like, oh, I just had a heartbreaking breakup, off panel, of course, with Tim Drake, which is still something that bugs me to this day. They just kind of threw that relationship in the garbage, and for no real good reason. They were doing fine, and they're like, oh, we love you and all this other stuff, but well, Tim, Tim's gonna go through some changes, so sorry, Steph, you guys can't be together now. So whatever, that was still dumb the way they handled that, like their breakup. Just at least have the decency to let us see it break over time, rather than just, oh, you're happy, oh, sorry, that's done, Tim, you're with this other guy now, whatever. But anyway, so Kyle talks about a crime scene in the neighborhood. Steph and Cass go to investigate, and some shady stuff happens. Some lady gives them a coin after Steph saves a cat out of a tree, and I guess it has some sort of occultic magic qualities, because they even talk about like switching. At one point they bring up like switching bodies. So now we're going to do a bit of a body swapping story with Steph and Cass, where Stephanie is going to be in Cass's body and Cass is going to be in Stephanie's body, but it happens at the exact worst time. Because now, like, Lady Shiva comes to get Steph, who's in Cass's body, and then Stephanie's father kidnaps Cass, who's in Steph's body, if that makes sense. So now there's kind of a worst case scenario for both of them. They let Batman know the whole situation. He kind of brushes it off, which is kind of disappointing. I feel like he'd be a little bit more stern with the whole situation. But then again, like, things are going to kind of lead to an interesting part, setting up the next issue of Batgirls with the return of Clue Master. So I actually like this one. There's there feels like actual stakes going on in this thing with the whole Freaky Friday body swapping thing. The artwork, I think, is much better this time around. Who was the artist at the time? Robbie Rodriguez. I think this is some of the strongest work I've seen from that particular artist, and I think they should go with this style a little bit more. I also think too, because it is a longer issue, it gives them time to kind of flesh the story out a little bit more, rather than just kind of undercut it, and I think it works in that regards. And I do solemnly swear, I think this is the strongest issue of Batgirls so far. If it kind of keeps up this momentum, yeah, there's still ways it can improve and stuff, but if it kind of keeps up this momentum and really kind of pushes forward and writes it a little bit more mature, yeah, there's still a few kind of moments where they're like giggling and stuff, but that part is kind of toned down a lot more. It actually feels like there's some serious stakes going on with the return of Stephanie's father and Lady Shiva coming into the mix and such, and that could be kind of funny, seeing different characters do the Freaky Friday thing, especially when their parents are both villains. So I like that aspect. I thought the art was a little bit stronger than what's been showcased in the rest of the series. And yeah, it would actually develop some things too. So I'm surprised in saying this, but I genuinely really like the Batgirls annual. I think it's the strongest issue so far of this entire run. It's one I wouldn't mind going back to reread again, and it sets the stage for some interesting stories going forward. So thank you. Thank you. I really needed this. I wasn't really like too hyped for this issue, but I came away surprised and thinking this is actually a pretty good issue of Batgirls. So I'm giving the thumbs up on this one. Maybe the momentum won't last after this month, but I think this is a good start. This is a good showcase for where the series should go from here. So hopefully that momentum continues. But anyways, that's all I have to say. Post your comments down below. Like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to the YouTube channel for more content, all the other fun stuff. Come back later on tonight as I'll be talking about Detective Comics 2022 annual, and that should wrap it up for the comics for this week. So finishing off November with the annuals, because typically November just seems to be the month where they do all the annuals, but there you go. But anyways, hard to believe we have one more month left of 2022. Time flies by when you're having fun. So yeah. All right, thanks for watching, everybody. As always, take care now. Bye bye then, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace.